The last 4 to 5 years of my life have been very, very interesting, to say the least. But if I had to sum up the last 4 to 5 years of my life in a sentence or a phrase, it would be without a doubt, nothing's forever.
Because nothing ever does. Joy always has some sadness behind it. It's like, it's either the sadness that the joy is not going to last forever because nothing ever does. It's either the sadness that the joy is not going to last forever because nothing ever does.
Everything you see, yeah. Everything you feel. Everything you know, it's bound with them. Everything you hear,
Sadness,
everything you believe,
not going to last forever.
everything you dream,
Nothing ever does.
nothing's forever. Everything you see, everything you feel, everything you know, everything you hear.
A lot of people know me from YouTube or the All Gen Gamers podcast, but what a lot of people don't know is that I'm a musician, and I've been for a good majority of my life. I got a drum set at 14 for Christmas. Good old Santa Claus brought it down the chimney, and from that day forward, it has been nothing but music in my life. I don't regret any bit of it. Well, I regret not playing earlier in my life, but everything I've done musically, I don't regret. I love it. It's my drug, it's my addiction, it's my habit and my passion. I have to have music in my life every day. It's a gift, and I'm amazed that I'm able to find that. I think a lot of people go through life and they don't find what they're gifted at doing or that they love to do. If you know it, go for it. And if you don't, get a text message on your phone.
Actually, I met Jason by walking into a little local music store that's right up the street from my house. One of the funny, interesting stories. I kind of tried to get together with him a couple times to play music, and he kind of like, in a very nice way, blew me off in a sense because I come to find out later that he thought I was a guitar player.
He came in and was a customer. This guy bought drumsticks, drum heads, guitar strings, bass strings. He brought in a few guitars, a bass one time. I'm thinking, okay, I see musicians every day. They're always coming into the store, and I'm thinking, okay, this guy's got one of everything. And when I see that, I think, okay, he's got everything, and he's good at it all, but he's not great at one thing. So I typically just, whatever, right? So I blew him off for, I don't know, quite a few months.
At the time, I was like, hey, you want to get together and jam sometime? He's like, yeah, sure, just let me know, whatever. And so, I kind of gave up because I figured he just wasn't that interested, and that's okay, Everybody's busy. So one day I'm bringing actually this bass right here in to get some work done to it by Larry, who's an outstanding luthier, takes great care of my stuff. And he goes, Jason, John's a bass player. And Jason eyes kind of opened up, and I was like, no shit, So, yeah, that's kind of how we started working together. Was really kind of an interesting story, and we've been good friends ever since. And it's been cool. We complement each other very, very well. I haven't worked with too many drummers that play in the pocket as well as Jason does, and he's right there with me every step of the way.
I didn't know he was a bass player. I thought he was a drummer or a guitarist or something, but he is an amazing bass player and incredible guy, and he just really brought my songs to life on this record, for sure.
Yeah. love to smooth out some of the vibrato too. So
I love how the bass, it just walks all over where the beat's going. You know, the kick drum is pretty just right on.
Yeah.
Bump, bump, and you're just do 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 do. You know, you're just walking all over it.
Cool, man.
It's perfect, dude.
we talked about Jason and I talked about doing a project outside of doing anything for his album actually, and so I came over, we jammed a couple times, we found out that we had good chemistry to playing together, and he like came up with the idea like, hey, you know, I'm gonna throw a couple songs at you, see what you think about playing bass on them, and like, you know, if you like it, cool, if not, whatever, you know. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure, you know. He played it for me, and I kind of laid down a bass line on it, and he seemed to love it. The thing about Jason, he gives me a lot of room to work with the songs. You know, he doesn't tell me, hey, you got to play this or you got to play that. He kind of says, John, just kind of sit down and do your thing, and makes me happy as a bass player for one thing, you know, having my own artistic freedom, and then on top of that, it makes me want to, you know, play better for him, you know, make stuff that's more interesting.
Start the other line right here. 2,
I would throw him songs and he would just lay it down. I said, John, what do you think? And he just play. That's it. Lay it down.
So, you know, I worked on that one tune. We finished it, and he was real excited about it. So, he decided that he goes, "Hey, you know, I'm working on a new record, and I'd really like if you're interested, if you want to do some work on it." So, you know, my first initial thought was like, okay, yeah, I figured I'd just be doing like a couple riffs here and there, and you know, maybe helping him out with a couple spots he was struggling with as far as bass lines were concerned. But it actually turned into I got more and more involved in the project, and it was really flattering. First and foremost, it was just like, you know, wow, this is really cool that, you know, you think I'm good enough to not only play with you as a musician live, but at the same time, like, you want to incorporate my playing into what you're doing for your own art and your own creativity. So like I said, it was really flattering, and then, you know, I started writing bass lines, and he seemed real happy with everything that I was doing. So I just kept doing it, you know, and eventually it was like all of a sudden I was on like 8 songs or, you know, 9 songs or whatever it ended up being. And it was just really, it was humbling, and it was exciting for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Can you do that? All right.
It was like the bass playing that I've always wanted to play. You know, I've always played, you know, real basic stuff, you know, like just, you know, basic, you know, for like rock songs. And he's got me doing stuff like, you know. So, you know, I get to play real bass line parts, you know. And so, of course, naturally, I just was like, yeah, of course I want to do this. And it's just, you know, it's been really exciting for me. I've thoroughly enjoyed everything we've worked on that I've got to help on. And it's been a great overall experience.
So smooth.
The recording process was really easy. Jason is a pro. I mean, he knows what he's doing on so many levels, but not just recording, but I mean specifically recording. I call him the mad scientist, because he takes things that I do specifically, and he makes them sound just so much better than I could have ever imagined they could have sounded like. He really took some of the parts that I did, and he captured the exact feel of what I was trying to get across, which is, I mean, I don't even know how to explain that. It's like he just like moved a couple things and twisted a couple knobs basically, but Jason, this is him, and I can tell it's from his heart. So in turn, he takes what I've done and he just makes it that much better, and he takes it up that much further. And as far as I'm concerned, I've never heard bass recorded as good as that ever before. When I listen back to some of the stuff, I'm like, is that really me? Because it's just odd to me. I don't know, it just sounds that good.
Bass.
I was approached by Jason Heine, or the EMU Review, to help him out with his album cover for Nothing's Forever. And he and I's friendship kind of developed through, I was posting things over at the All Gen Gamers forums, just kind of random stuff related to their tournament battle that they had, and it kind of caught on, people started to like it more, and I had made like a drawing for Jason of his nickname from Battlefield Bad Company 2 called the Gustav Marksman. And he really dug that, which I was happy to find out. And at the time I didn't know that he was developing a new album, but he asked me shortly after he saw that if I'd be interested in making the album art for this album.
And I came across Chase, who has done some incredible work for us on the All Gen Gamers podcast, gaming related, and I just fell in love with his art style and his direction. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, I would love for you to do my album cover if you're interested. And he accepted, and we've been working back and forth for many, many months now, trying to hash it out and get it to work right. Another guy that, I want to throw stuff at him, and I want him just to do what he wants to do. I want an artist to be an artist. That's how I am, and that's how I want people to be with me, so that's how I am with you. So I want him to just do what he wants to do with it and create something very cool. Something that he's proud of, something artistically that he's proud of to do. So, and he came up with this. This is an amazing artwork here. It's a image of my face, and my face is coming apart. Pieces of it's crumbling apart. And on the inside, on the surfaces there are the images of my life from my past. It's really cool to see an artist do what they do and have it come alive like this. And this represents the album perfectly, and I couldn't be happier with it.
It's been nice to work with him on the album, because typically when I've been involved with independent projects, it stays in the idea stage and it doesn't progress beyond just like a conceptual kind of hashing out what you want done phase. So it's been nice to work with someone that has a plan in mind from point A to point B, what they want to accomplish, and then go about communicating with me how he wants that. Yeah, it had just started with me kind of doodling at work on a post-it note, and then I continued to refine that idea, and Just from the get-go though, and from talking to Jason, I always wanted to kind of have that like breaking apart, crumbling concept of like yourself, or just how you can feel kind of like you're being pulled in a ton of different directions at once. And as far as the album goes though, I think the concepts of loss and hope and just kind of impermanence of everything is something that everyone can relate to. I know that he wanted me to include some pretty personal pictures throughout his life of his involvement with like customizing cars for shows, and more so than that, just like his experiences with his previous people that he's dated and whatnot. So I wanted to treat that content in kind of like a fair or respectable way, which I think he understood when he saw the image. The cover I wanted to just kind of ultimately resemble just impermanence, but also how you kind of go about stitching things back together, and just the building blocks of kind of how you can lose yourself into moments, but also how you retain these kind of faded memories of what has happened. But I hope everyone digs it. Peace.
Never thought I could crush, but my life's crumbling down.
I tried to paint a picture of your pretty face, but I just kicked down the canvas in a fit of rage. I guess I never know the man I'd go and grow. You know I need this in my life more than anything. You know I need this music. It's something about the way I flow over the track. Something about that. You ask about that, I'll show you all of that and show you how to roll. But you're not even around me, girl, you're at the mall. I am a creative being, just to keep me breathing. I know you say I go out and run from all these problems. It would be nice if once you would help to solve them. Just dealing with you. Rather be cruising in my whip, seeing you in my rear view. Looking at my life I tried to paint a picture of your pretty face, but I just kicked down the canvas in a fit of rage. I guess I never know the man I'd go and grow. You know I need this in my life more than anything. You know I need this music. I need these beats that bump, that bump, 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 bump. That's how we get down. It's something about the way I flow over the track. Something about that. You ask about that, I'll show you all of that and show you how to roll. But you're not even around me, girl, you're at the mall. Yeah, that's right, I am a creative being. I need support on that just to keep me breathing. I know you say I go out and run from all these problems. It would be nice if once you would help to solve them. Just another day of agony just dealing with you. Rather be cruising in my whip, seeing you in my rear view. Looking at my life through the rearview mirror. I can't even see this night clearer. I don't know what's gotten into me. I don't know what's gotten into me. Looking at my life through the rearview mirror. Miles I travel. I don't know what's gotten into me. So I'ma head out on the town. I'm not going to clubs. I'm not getting around. I'm just thinking about you. How you played me like a deck of cards when I lived with you. It's like you always got my mind in the days, but today is not the same. It's like we don't relate. I'm trying to find the right rhyme and the right time to play it. I wish I had Sade to say it. I know you came home and shut the door and went wrong. Play it. I wish I had Sade to say it. I said come home and I heard you come home. I heard you come home. Play it. I wish I had Sade to say it. I heard you come home and shut the door, but where you were tonight, only heaven knows. Or better yet, maybe work would know. Right. You know what's surprising? It's no surprise that you put on such a great disguise. Or better yet, maybe work would know. Right. It's no surprise how you put on such a great disguise. It's really funny that you think. You know, it's funny that you think, but. Surprise how you put on such a great disguise. disguise. I'm really smarter than you think. Great disguise. I'm really smarter than you think with your paid overtime in your cubicle. Wink, wink. Is what you do. I will catch you then in my rear view. Looking at my life.
Heiny House Records started sometime around 2000 in my hometown of Clackamas, Oregon. After I graduated high school, I started to mess with DJ equipment and some drum machines. At that point, I had been drumming for about 4 years, and I really knew that music was, obviously going to be a huge part of my life, big influence on what I was doing. And I started messing with drum machines and turntables, and I used to DJ gigs actually on vinyl. And I used to take a drum machine, a Roland MC505, and actually play drum loops to the DJ sets that I was doing, to the instrumentals or to the songs, and I would mix the two of them. I only DJed with one turntable for many, many years, actually, and I used either a drum machine or a couple of CD players to my right, and it was a very interesting way to do things. It's all I could afford. It's all I did at the time. And as soon as I started to experiment with that, I decided I wanted to record myself, and then I went and got on sale, on discount, a little 8-track CD rewrite-based recorder, and that was, where I got into actually recording myself. Speaking of the recorder, actually, my first album, Personal Invitation, I recorded exclusively on that. So listen back to it and tell me if it sounds like I used, 8 tracks. I could bounce once, so I had 12 tracks total. So each song was only 12 tracks, mostly recorded in one take. Very, very limited at that time, but it still sounded good, I thought. And I had to move out of the bedroom and move downstairs into an unfinished room that my father and I did finish. We had sheetrocked, and we laid in some, half-assed blue carpet in there. But that's what became my studio and the birth of Heiny House Records in around 2002.
Hey, my name is Mike Turner, and I'm a producer-engineer from Denver, Colorado. So I first met Jason in January of 2012. And the way that came about was a couple months prior he had put out a song called Gamers Alike. And I was sitting down here one day, I had my iPod blasting through my stereo, and I was just fiddling around on my guitar at the same time, and his song came on. And I just started playing along to it, and ended up coming up with these riffs as the song is playing. And the first thing I ended up coming up with was this thing. So I'm sitting there playing that along with this song, and it kind of dawns on me, I could take this song into a completely different direction than what it is now. This is kind of a straight ahead hip hop song, kind of, the bouncy feeling thing that Jason originally had going on. And I was like, I could turn this song into this big, heavy rock or metal song. And so what I ended up doing was taking a song and dumping it into Pro Tools, and he had made the music track and vocal track available separate in case anybody wanted to remix the song. I was like, you know what, let's give it a try, see where it goes. Worst that happens is it sucks, and no harm, no foul. It's just something fun to try out. So I'm sitting there playing along to his song and coming up with all these different parts, and then I'm kind of digging where it's going, and I kind of feel like the song's getting this different feel with these different peaks and valleys between the verses and chorus and bridge and everything. And so what I ended up doing to kind of emphasize that even more was I would take the music track and chop up the beat so it would really lock in with the riffs I was playing on the guitar. That's one of my favorite things in music, is just when the rhythm section just totally locks in. So I started chopping up the drums to work with my guitar playing. So then from there, I really felt like the song was getting this totally different vibe to it and different feel to it. And so I'm playing it back, and the vocals are on top of it, and I'm like, let me chop up the vocals too. You know, the song has a completely different feel now to me, so let me change the vocals so that they fit the song better. Whether it be takes things out or loop things, or you know, I would even go in and chop up, you know, totally different lines in the song and make new lines just to kind of fit the vibe of the song. So I do that, and you know, I'm really digging what's going on. So I ended up mixing it, and I'm on Facebook one night, and I see that Jason's online. So I've never spoken to him before, but I ended up shooting him a message, and I'm like, hey, look, I did a remix of your song for fun, and I'd like to send it over to you, see what you think. And he's like, yeah, man, sure, go for it. So, and then he says something like, you know, just to let you know, I'm really picky about this kind of stuff. So if I don't like it, I'm going to let you know. I'm not trying to say it to hurt your feelings or anything. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, whatever. You know, I'm curious what you think of it, so let me send it over. So I send it over, and a few minutes later, he sends me a message back, and it's something like, holy shit, dude, this song is hard as fuck. He's like, I love where you went with this. This is great. So, you know, we're just talking back and forth, and we end up hopping on Skype, and I think we end up talking for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, just about music in general, and my background, his background, and, you know, experiences in music. And then he says, hey, look, so I'm working on an album right now, and I'd love for you to be a part of it, you know, if you're interested. So I'm like, yeah, sure, you know, let's see where it goes. So the way we were doing that was, you know, he already had these songs that he was working on, and he would send me over MP3s of these songs, and I would listen to them, and kind of like with the Gamers Alike thing, I would just start playing along with it and see where it went. The difference for me with that and the Gamers Alike thing was, you know, Gamers Alike was already a song that was put out, everybody knew the original and had a chance to hear the original, and then I was able to go in and just completely make that my own. Whereas the songs that were on the album, I kind of approached a little differently, in the sense that, you know, the original versions of these songs haven't been out yet. We're still working on them. He wants me to be a part of the original. So I didn't want to mess too much with the vibe of the song. So I wasn't so much sitting there and chopping things up to really fit what I was doing. And occasionally in one or two of the songs I did, you know, maybe just extend a part a little bit, you know, maybe a measure or two or whatever, but I wasn't chopping everything up to completely change the feel of the song. We're just kind of emphasizing things or adding parts to it. And what we would do is, he'd send me the songs, I'd play whatever I was feeling at the time on the songs, and then I'd send them back to Jason, and you know, for the most of the part, he was like, man, this is great, you know, I'm really digging this. So what I'd do after that was re-record everything. The original songs I'd send over in like a scratch form, just real rough ideas. And then once he told me, yeah, man, I'm really digging this, I would go back and record with, you know, a real setup, like all my amps that I have in the house and everything, and get some good sounds. And then send that over to him in an MP3 form for him to approve. And then send him over the whole Pro Tools session from there, so he could kind of do whatever he wanted, you know, mix it however he wanted, you know, once we had the good sounds. So that's pretty much how the recording process worked with us, him being in Arizona and me being in Colorado, was we would just communicate through Skype or email or, you know, whatever, and just email everything back and forth and file transfers back and forth. Whenever I had an idea, I'd lay something down and send it to him, and he'd let me know what he was thinking, and he would start sending me more and more songs as he was writing them. And I mean, that's pretty much it. That's how the recording process worked, and just going back and forth like that. And as you'll hear on the album, the rest is history.
He did a completely like metal rock mix of it, it was incredible. I could definitely tell that Mike had a little flair about him that was that I don't hear very, very often. I checked out some of his other work online, and I decided to reach out to him and bring him on board. And I said, hey, you know, would you be interested to collaborate and work together? And he said, yeah, totally. I'd just be thrilled to do it. Come to find out, he's also a studio guy, worked many years in a professional studio, has done a lot of work in audio, so he's aware how to record and mix and throw stuff down, which really helps me out. So when we collaborate, you know, he will kind of pre-mix his stuff for me, so that it's not just like, you know, it's all just rough, you know, it's comes very prepared, and that's nice. But he brings a really cool influence. He brings a rock metal feel that I just love. I love, because my music is in no way metal at all. But infusing some of that into it, it's great. And he's played on the record quite a bit, and he has really helped take it to another level as well, and create a different mood and feel that I just absolutely love. So I'm excited to work on stuff in the future with him as well. We're going to be working on some other projects that are going to come. You know, sometimes you'll get influenced to do something. You'll just be messing around with the keys. I come in, I'll just mess around with the keys, and until I find something cool that I like, that I'm really kind of feeling, and then I'll build upon that. I'll be in like a certain mood. I'll be in a certain mood. So, like for instance, let's just take No Way Back. I was sitting there and I had this. And I just loved it, and I was like, oh man, that's so awesome. And I was playing around with it. I was like, and I was playing with that, and I was like, trying to find something that I could do down low on it. But I came across doing this rhythm. Oh man, I like that. So then I went and I composed the drum beat for it, the drum loop, and that sounds like that.
It's kinda funny that I walk alone, but I choose to walk alone. I prefer to walk alone, and I will be alone till the day I find my face turning into a skull and crossbone. And the desert's giving me these ripped pants. I gotta find a seamstress, cause she can fix that. I throw the stone at the phone, there's no dial tone. So for now I'll walk alone. I'm traveling on this lonely road, and there's no way back. And there's no way back for me. I'm traveling on this.
So it's something kind of like that. You just build upon it, and then I go through it. I lay down a bass, lay down the rest of it, just kind of as it comes out. So it's a little bit about how that whole thing works. Pretty sweet, huh? What's really interesting to me is that we all go through the same exact feelings, just differently. So we all feel the same emotions. We do. We're human. That's what happens. It's just the situation that caused that's different. So, and that's where it's interesting with music. It's like a scent, right? When you smell something, let's take for instance, take a perfume that a woman wears. You smell that perfume, it will instantly take you back to that woman, that place, that time, that era, whether that be last week or whether that be 50 years ago. It'll just take you there instantly. But I also think the exact same phenomenon is with music, right? So you can hear a song and it will take you right to that spot instantly. You'll be like, oh man, I remember hearing this. Oh dude, the 80s were so awesome. Oh dude, the 70s were so cool. Oh man, the 90s, oh rad, the 90s. We'll go there. And that's what's so beautiful about music. It's like some crazy, it's a magic trick. I don't even know how to explain it, but your mind remembers that. So when I found out that music causes that, I said, I have to be involved with this. Nothing can do this. Nothing.
That's this new fresh bass line I heard.
Damn, that's sick. Who wrote that?
I don't know. Some crazy white dude, kind of chubby. I heard he eats a lot of dim sum. You know.
Spicy shrimp?
Yeah, spicy shrimp, dim sum. Oh yeah, syncopation. Damn right.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's sexy. Looks fucking professional.
Read your books, kids. Learn the music.